For years, I always said drugs should be legalized. I've said it since I was a prosecutor. I've said it before I was a prosecutor. This is 40 plus years. I absolutely said it makes no sense. It's ridiculous. Drugs are a medical problem, not a criminal problem. We're creating a black market by virtue of making the drugs illegal. And then later on, William F. Buckley and George Shultz and Mayor Kurt Schmoke, I think from Baltimore, and a host of other people said it's ridiculous. Milton Friedman and all the libertarians. Oh my God, the libertarians. The most unimaginative group of no scheisse obviousness I've ever seen. But anyway, so they said, oh, you're a libertarian? Well, I used to say that, when we didn't know what the hell it was, it sounded good. Is it liberal? No, not really. It's like conservatarian, or it's like a play on word. Neoliberal? What? Neoconservative? What? Anyway, because remember, libertarians are Republicans who want to smoke dope. It's the old joke. And it made sense. And in the old days, people would actually have to go look for dope, look for it, find it. Where is it? High Times magazine used to have pictures of, the centerfolds of this is Oaxacan red, and this is Sinsemilla from Maui, and all of these different things. And it was a real connoisseur thing. Pot smelled good. Sometimes it smelled like Christmas trees. Go to a concert. You'll say, ooh, sometimes you could just, whether you did it or not, you say, ooh, look how many, wait, that's kind of interesting. Ooh, that's kind of pungent. Where's that from? And there were different THC amounts, different colors, different strains, different climates, different everything, certain potencies, sativa, indica. There was this guy Emery Seeds years ago who would sell the seeds, and it was a different pot. It was different. It's not this stuff, because this stuff ain't weed. It's not pito. I don't know what it is. We'll get to this in a moment. So when people would smoke, nobody would go nuts. There weren't edibles. There weren't any of this stuff. Put it in a brownie. And of course, marijuana goes way back. The whole notion of it came back to pre-Nancy Reagan. Goes back to Pancho Villa and the Hearst family. And remember the story. Remember the movie, a great book, Smoke and Mirrors, right? About Dow Chemical and how when synthetics were making its way after World War II, what posed the greatest threat to it? Hemp. Ooh. And then Pancho Villa with the timber forests that were taken and seized, and Anslinger, and it was a racist. They didn't call it cannabis, it was marijuana, because it was the brown Mexican scourge, and those brown Mexican, and then, reefer madness, and then, remember Jimmy Buffett owned the jazz musicians were smoking marijuana, and when the black men would become enraged and chemically addled by the weed, their hypersexuality, these mensualate, sex fiends would ravage the white way, and all of this stuff. And we knew this. This was the storyline. In the old days, people, there'd be, okay, hey, man. That was it. Cheech and Chong, the most benign thing. It was kind of hidden. People, if you found ozium in a car, and I know what you're doing, little holes in ties, a little seed that burns and pops, oh, it's canoeing, man. Head shops, it was clandestine, underground. It was benign. It was completely benign. And when people were stoned out of their mind driving, you knew they were, because they were driving 5 miles an hour. In fact, there would be no, road rage. If everybody was high in the old days, people would be, hey, man, don't worry. Go ahead, man. None of this, hey, F you. No, nothing. It was a calm. Nobody freaked out because it wasn't this stuff. Now, I don't know. I am not a partaker. I don't have a card. Let me also say that some of the oils and some of the uses of it for different conditions have been it is without a doubt medically CBDs, various cannabinoid mixtures have helped children with spastic disorders. Don't even ask any questions. If somebody is ill, if somebody is on chemotherapy, what does it do? In the old days, I don't know what this stuff is. In the old 70s, the weed that maybe your dad and we read about, it. There it was, a lot to read about. But it was an antiemetic. If somebody was going to throw up, if somebody was drinking too much here, it will affect the ability to assimilate alcohol. It'll stop alcohol toxicity. Women, we were told in the old days, who were suffering from dysmenorrhea, the menstrual cramps, pito would help them as a calmative, so to speak. It's an antiemetic, stops vomiting, stops nausea. Gave people the munchies. The whole notion of the munchies. It was, my God, if they passed again, we're talking 50-something years old. I don't know what this stuff is now, but then people would be, the dessert tabs would be off the charts. Even George Carlin said that when pot came in, people in the shop would go from making zip guns to hash pipes. And that's it. And it was benign, and it was ridiculous, the fact that people, it was just, made no sense. So I was an ardent and still intellectually, spiritually, I believe in the notion of decriminalization. That goes for everything. However, now, I don't know where you are, in New York City, the smell, it's nauseating because it's not pito. It's, I don't know what it is. It smells like a skunk got hit by a car. It's rancid. It's awful. And it's one smell. One universal smell. I'm very good at detecting various various types of smells. I can pick out little. I've got a good nose. It's one thing. One. And edibles. Oh, we knew somebody one time who was waxed, gooned out of her mind because she said, "Well, it's edibles. It looks like a gummy bear." You're a schmuck. If I put, strychnine or cyanide in a gummy bear, and she's walking around, she doesn't know where she is. Psychotic episodes. I can't go into details. I can't go into too much details because people know me and they're going to think I'm talking about them. But suffice it to say, I can name you a number of instances where young people have been accelerated, lo and behold, into schizophrenic, hospitalization quality freakouts. Now, it just may happen that in different groups, they just all happen to become schizophrenic overnight through some other, genetic or some type of consanguineous hypersterpes, chromosomal, whatever it is. I don't know. I doubt it. And once you go schizoid, 17, 18, 19, you ain't coming back. You might be regulated, but if you think somehow you're going to be, remember when I was schizophrenic? Yeah, hell with something. It doesn't work like that. I don't mean to joke about it. It's horrible. What people are smoking today ain't pot, ain't weed, ain't Mary Jane, ain't pito. I don't know what it is. And the THC amounts, whatever the percentages, you've got to be kidding. Forget driving. You see it all the time, everywhere. And forget the fact that we've got these stores that are across from schools or whatever. Look, we have this oafish buffoon mayor, Eric Adams, who's just listen to him. Just listen to him. Okay? Just listen to him. He's the mayor of the largest city in the country and one of the largest cities in the world. Do you know that Brooklyn would be like the fourth largest city? Brooklyn, one of the 5 boroughs in the nation. That's just Brooklyn. So here's the thing. We made a big mistake because we forgot to ask the question, excuse me, when we legalize marijuana, what is the marijuana we're legalizing? Because I have absolutely no problem with declaring it an environmental hazard. It makes me sick. I know people who are affected by it. Their lips are affected. It's in their clothes. It's everywhere. I don't have to put up with that crap. I guess I do. So here's the thing. What about my rights to just live, not gagging constantly, to live in a world immersed? But it's beautiful. If you're part of a shadow government and you want to completely destroy the essence of this country, get everybody gooned and waxed and completely arrebatado, as we say in West Tampa, gone constantly. Edible, smoking, always beat the out, as we would say. I'm giving you a lot of West Tampa slang here for you. Biggest mistake anybody, because nobody thought about it. Nobody ever said, well, marijuana, they changed it. What? They changed it. It's like saying, this marijuana is the old stuff. It's like saying, calling AIDS an STD or the clap. It's like, technically, but no, this is a little different. Okay? Oh, this was. So, do I think that people should be thrown into jail for possessing it? Of course not. But we pass a law that says you can't smoke it in public. You can't do a lot of things in public. You like music? I like music. I can't play it at 3 o'clock in the morning. Well, New York's a different story. There's a lot of things I can do, but I can't do in public. You want to do the nasty, do the horizontal mambo, whatever it is? Not in public. You want to... New York, that they have these weird things about you can't have propane. They go crazy if you bring in propane. You can't bring propane. No propane tanks. They go nuts over that stuff. There's all kinds of laws. You can't do that. We still have in New York City, I think, the cabaret law. Where you can't dance in a bar. I mean, this is nuts. It's crazy. Do you know in New Jersey, self-serve gas is against the law? No exceptions. Okay, pass something now that says, smoke yourself silly, but not outside. I don't have to smell this. And if you're in an apartment, in the old days it was cigarettes. If you told me what's worse, what can I take? Cigarettes over this? Cigarettes are looking a lot better, though that's saying what form of fecal matter do you want to step in? And I was like, well, these gradations of this. Oh, we were taken. Oh, the libertarians. Oh, the libertarians. Free market, my ass. We were taken to the cleaners for this one. My new law, ban it in public. You want to smoke it? Go out to a field. Go into a room. Shut off the vents. Smoke your brains out. I don't care. That's the bottom line. I don't care. If you want to kill yourself with fentanyl, if you want to kill yourself with heroin, if you want to do that, if that's what you want to do when you elect to do it, and we're not talking teens, we're not talking, I'm talking you as an adult. Listen, the number one killer drug that destroys everything is booze. Cigarettes? What about this? Kathy Hochul, or here in New York, they want to stop menthol cigarettes. You know who that's for, don't you? Come on. Say it. Say it. Is that the most stupid thing in the world? Menthol cigarettes? That's like banning amaretto or something. So why? Well, this is just nuts. So understand, I'm strict to my code. Don't incarcerate somebody for possessing it or smelling it, but arrest the hell out of them under my new law if you smoke in public. How about that? That's it. Being drunk at home, no problem. Public intoxication, it's against the law. DUI, oh my God. Getting behind a car, these cars now, our car, not like our cars. In my generation, remember you had a key. Remember they had a regular key, and then you had the trunk key, kind of an oval. We had Delco push buttons. It had nothing. It had a speedometer. It had a button on the ground for the brights. That's it. Now you're in cockpits with buttons, and you're mamawed with a 50%, 40% THC level compared to 2 or 3. Oh yeah, you are. Halal is what you are, okay? Do I make myself clear? Do you agree with me? Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Put your thoughts and comments below. Oh, and you better write this. You better like this video. You better subscribe to the channel. You got that? And you better comment as you see fit.